Always great catching up with my next guest, Tristan Connelly, who we haven't seen in the cage for a while. I know he's dealing with some injuries, but Tristan, how are you, man?
I'm all right. Life's good. I had a baby recently, but yeah, like I say, dealing with a little bit of an injury from a car accident, actually. So I've been chasing this thing for a bit, and people asking, when do you fight next? When do you fight next? Well, I've been doing everything I can, and it's gotten to a point where it's just not going to get better on its own. So I'm here in Victoria today, and I'm about to get disc replacement surgery in my neck and look to get back to it as soon as possible.
That's crazy. Yeah, I knew that you were out. I figured just because you became a new dad, like you mentioned. By the way, congratulations. I think this is the first time we've spoken. I might as well ask quickly, how's fatherhood been? It must be awesome.
It's amazing. I mean, of course, everyone always tells you, be prepared, but just nothing can compare to the feeling you get when you first hold your little baby. It's incredible. And, as much as this injury has sucked, I'm not really mad. I'm super happy. My life is really good. Injuries happen. I'm an athlete, so there's always going to be these little spots of downtime. I typically don't get hurt very easily. And it took a car accident to do it, right? It wasn't even from fighting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm dealing with it. I've recovered pretty good, did better than the doctors thought, but I have lasting weakness that just can't go on. And so we've all decided, hey, I made a valiant effort, but it's time to have the big guns to step in and just manually override the whole situation.
No, absolutely. I know there's not a whole lot you can go into detail about because there's some legal stuff involved, but when did the car accident happen? Like, for those, just to get an idea, like how long have you been dealing with this?
A year and a half. It was a year and a half ago. And I started getting symptoms and I rehabbed it hard, and it just,
so you fought with it when you fought Pereira, right?
Yeah. And, it was always kind of, training kind of made it feel better. And then as soon as I stopped training from inactivity in the quarantine, it just 2 months in just blew up. So from there, I've just been chasing it. Right. I guess it was my fitness that kind of kept me in the game for as long as it did. And then when I stopped being as physically active, it got real bad. I got an MRI and it was like, oh, okay, that's what's causing your issues.
That's crazy though, because not only did you fight Pereira, but you had that war with Dewan Owens back in July as well. Before that, that's the fight that got you into the UFC. So the fact that you fought with that, I think is pretty incredible. I know fighters have injuries, but a neck, I mean, that's no joke.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it was anytime I stopped training, it would start to bug me. And then anytime I go train and do stuff, it would feel better. So the doctor, we didn't think it was as severe as it was. And then once we finally got the imaging done, it came back as something else. So, it is what it is, and now I'm here. I'm ready to get it sorted out so I can get back to it as soon as possible. I know the surgery's got a relatively quick turnaround for what it is, so, wish me luck, and I'm ready to kick this thing's ass just like my next opponents.
You and I both aren't doctors, but you mentioned it there, the timetable. When are you looking, like what's sort of the plan going forward? If you get this surgery, everything goes A-okay, what's the plan from here on out?
I actually haven't really gone over what the surgeon's return to play protocol is, but I did talk to Chris Weidman, and he's got the exact same, had same surgery, same situation in his neck. So he said, 3 months he was back to rolling and sparring, and I think like 6-7 months fighting. So I'm hoping to have that early next year turnaround. I hear it'd be up to a year max would be the most, but I think I can get this thing done before then. Apparently 30 days you can be doing most activity and then just stay away from that hard contact for a little bit longer, and good to I'll be able to hit the ground running as soon as I'm good to go.
How did you get in touch with Chris Weidman? Just reach out to him on IG or?
I messaged him on Instagram. I messaged his gym too. So I don't know if that was why, but I just sent him a message and he responded, and then we had a little phone call. Super nice guy, man. He gave me some really good advice. Told me about his situation, and someone that's felt my pain, because if anyone's ever had bad nerve pain, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It is the worst. Like, as a professional fighter, nothing has even come close to it. I dealt with it with my leg like 10, 12 years ago, and it was bad then. And this one was way worse. Like, there's nothing. You don't sleep. You don't want to eat. You can't do anything. You're just in excruciating agony 24/7. So, definitely looking forward to getting this thing taken care of.
You're a pretty positive guy, but how challenging has this time been with COVID, and then your wife's pregnant and you're about to be a dad, and then you're dealing with this neck injury? That's gotta, weigh on you a lot. How'd you get through it?
You just always, the glass is always half full in my opinion. Even if it's empty, just get to fill it. I mean, I've been doing a lot of other stuff. I got some other things on the go to our gym where I'm getting ready to, we're moving that, we're demoing, we're running. So obviously I miss training and I want to get back to it, but I'm just, I got a new dad, so that's been awesome, and just dealing with other little things that I've got going that are just going to make my life better in the future. So it's just, you can never control everything in life. So you just want to make sure that you're always doing what you can do to make sure that you're setting yourself up for happiness. And I feel like I've done that. And, there's always going to be little downsides of things, but they pass. And I know that. So I've been pretty good, I mean, as far as being in pain, it sucks, but I'm a fighter. I'm good at dealing with pain. It's more the dysfunction that's the real issue.
Where's the gym moving to?
Same building, just we're renovating the other side of it. So it's going to be gorgeous. There's new owners who come into the building. They're doing a bunch of renos. There's another side of the building that was emptied out, and it gives us the opportunity to really make it the way we want. With gyms like us, often you have to move in a weekend and you have to do everything. So here, they're not charging us double rent. They're take your time, make it really nice. So we're hoping to, by the end of this month, to have it all done. We almost got the demo done and then get everything painted and installed. We got some toys we're going to put in and get it all the way we want it. And then I'll probably go for Cole to Vegas for his fight. And then hopefully Achilles fights too with any luck, and we'll just stay down there, and I'll do all my rehab at the PI and then come back and life will be good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's good to see you got some other stuff on the go. Now, I got to ask a question, and I know you probably don't know the answer to this yet, but has it crossed your mind that this potentially, with this surgery, if things don't go well, that this could be the end for you in your career? Because it's not like you're 20, and I mean, we're just speaking realistically here. Is that something that's crossed your mind?
Yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind. I mean, I have no intention of it. I mean, it would have to be the doctors saying, I trust my doctors I have now. They're all for me getting back to it. So if it would have to be them being like, look, because of this, you're done. And that's something I'll have to deal with. And it's no athlete wants to deal with it, obviously, or hear that. But I'm a fighter. I take risks. And the reality is, if I don't get this surgery, I will never recover to the point that I will with the surgery. And it will take a long, long time to get back to where I even can fight. So, I take a risk every time I step in the cage. I feel like this one's way more tipped in my favor than a lot of the battles I've taken. So, I'm just gonna get in there. I'm going to fight it just like everything else. And we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes. No intention of it, but if that happens, it happens. And, we address it upon it happening.
I know you don't actually have any part in how the game goes, but I know you do work at EA Sports. Have you been hearing all the complaints? One of them being that Dustin Poirier, I think, is ranked like number 45 in skill set or something. Have you been hearing this?
I've seen just anecdotal little things. I haven't seen any. I've seen, little basically memes of things posting different things. I'm not surprised. It's a video game company. When does anyone ever super happy?
Right. Yeah, no, it's true. Well, some of the exclusions, like I think Calvin Cater isn't in the game, Pedro Munoz, like there's a few.
Right.
So
I know that is not necessarily, it's not I know that's not the game team's fault. They want all of it in. All I know, I don't know how the rest of the corporate structure, but all I know is the team that makes it, they're all diehard fans. They all, the main guys all come down and, not lately, but, we do jiu-jitsu all the time and kickboxing. They love it. They're geeks about it. And so that's what you want. And they want to add so much stuff. You should see the grappling stuff they want to add, but they just, UFC is a smaller market, so they only make game every 2 years. It just doesn't have the same funding that, say, FIFA does, obviously. So, over time, hopefully that'll change. But right now, they kind of, based on what the UFC and the higher ups say, they don't really have. They would have put me in the game right away. In fact, they called me in through modeling right away, and then I guess someone higher up shut it down. So, yeah. So don't blame the game team. Blame someone else that makes way more money than any of us.
Yes, no, for sure. Have you been back to EA? Because I remember last time we spoke, they sort of
Nope.
shut the jiu-jitsu down. Okay, so yeah,
Nope.
you haven't been back.
Nope, nothing's happened. They're all working from home.
One thing I wanted to ask you, we just had Contender Series on Tuesday, and two guys that just fought each other, I think you're pretty familiar with. Daniel Swain fought TJ Laramie.
TJ Laramie, yeah.
Did you catch that? Because I don't know if you ever trained with Daniel in the past.
I've never trained with Daniel, but I've trained with TJ.
Right, because I know TJ was in town. Yeah, so what did you think of that?
All I've ever heard is how talented Daniel is, and I know how hard TJ works, and so I thought it was either Daniel's going to catch him in something or TJ is going to outwork him and beat him with tenacity. And I'm not surprised. That kid is 100% all in, and he works very, very hard. I've crossed paths with him several times over the years, actually.
Because he's in Vegas a bit too, so you would have.
He's in Vegas.
Yeah.
I've also Brendan fought on a bunch of his TKOs, same card as him. So he's come out to train with Jeremy Kennedy before. So he's been around. I've known TJ for a long time, and he is very talented, and I'm very excited to see what the kid's capable of.
Someone you have trained with, Jamie Lynn Horth, is going to be fighting a Contender Series. What can people expect? Because I've seen her fight. She's amazing. What are people in for when she fights? She's got a tough opponent too. Yeah,
that girl that she's fighting is an animal. But I'm actually, I'm super excited for it because that watching you see the other girls' Instagram, see videos of her, she's just like 30 or however many days, she's just going crazy. And I was really impressed with her in her fights. But Jamie's, she's a unique athlete. I don't think there's as many female fighters on the roster right now that are nearly as athletic as her. And she's got some special gifts that are going to be hard to match. She's working real hard for this one, looking better than we've all ever seen her. Her headspace is right. So expect a firefight.
Yeah, and good timing with Cole's fight coming up as well, too. So they're kind of getting ready at the same time.
Yeah,
now, Achilles is also on Contender Series, right? You mentioned that, or? There's something in the works, right?
He's supposed to be. But we don't have anything. We have nothing signed yet.
Because I heard rumblings that he was another one. Because they're bringing a lot of Canadians in this year. Anthony Romero's also on there.
I kind of think they're saving him for the main event on the last night. I mean, this is just literally my speculation. But I think they're because they keep telling us October. We have nothing. So I'm like, are we sure? And Jason's pretty confident. So, I think they're saving Sean saw one clip of Achilles and was like, oh yes, get that kid. So we can only hope.
Yeah. Well, I think too, and I mentioned this actually on Twitter because I think I saw some rumor about him being on Contender Series. I mentioned how he helped you for that Pereira fight. Like a lot of people, I don't think remember.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Achilles, he's one of the best around. Wait for the world to see him. He's the full package. Anyway, I have to. I
was going to say we got to get out of here. I know we went way over time. Best of luck with surgery, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon, man. Thanks so much for the time.
Sounds good. No, thank you, James. Talk to you later.